Afternoon and thank you for tuning in to the Lunch Hour Show on ITV. I'm Egbon Carson. As you know, the Lunch Hour Show is your one-stop shop for entertainment, just social media, gossip, and general update. If you smile on my face is not telling you anything, yes, let me just tell you about myself. I'm so much excited. Join us now. Today's a very special edition of the show because we have with us in the building a living legend. So while I'm eager to go into all the stories that you're probably eager to go into as well, from the Fun Boy album release drop to the movie calling our FCT minister to come and start doing music with him, we have somebody that we all love and cherish in the studio today, and I'm going to be sharing the program with him. I have the honor to be introducing on the Lunch Hour Show the legendary Jim. It is a pleasure to have you with us in the studio today. So how are you feeling? Well, I know you took the time today to sit with us for your new project. I, of course, have some other angles I want to find out about, but let's start with the new project. Let's talk about your new project. Sing, Christian. Absolutely. The fact that you point out that all this is a big issue. It's swept under the buying entertainment, but now we're using that same entertainment, to bring attention to the issue. I absolutely love that. One thing I want to find out is, as you sat down, you mentioned, I spend a lot of time behind the camera, and you are the executive producer and the producer of this movie. Right. The writer as well. So how did you decide to transition from, because on screen there's only one mic. So how did you decide to make the transition from on screen to behind the camera?
I think people are not abreast with the businessman to mic. I'm a businessman, and basically you're as good as your last accolade.
Of course.
So
of course.
The idea is to find something bigger, something more challenging, something that will real and task your powers to the full extent and take it to the full stretch. So once I come to that acceptability, the next part is what skill set do I need in this file to be up to par with this rule I've accepted, this newfound rule, this newfound challenge. So if it means acquiring some sort of skill that is out of context for me, uncomfortable for me, I'll go about acquiring it, especially now that it's not on the long term.
Yeah.
Third one is who do I need? The persons I need, the experts I need, they must know better than me. It never suffices to be the smartest in the room. I hate any room where I'm the smartest. So I take individuals that know certain segments of the process, the propensity of that creation, and make them who they are, give them charge over different endeavors, disseminate properly, and steal the hell out of their way. Leadership is stealing the hell out of you, taking a back burner, let them do what they do best, empower them in whatever is necessary. And the last one is execution. This is where the conductor in you must take precedence. I see myself as a conductor. I've never been the best piano player. I've never been the best saxophonist or drum player. All I know is that at the helm of affairs as a conductor, I know the rhythm I want to hear.
Yes.
So I bring the symphony together. I bring everybody that's pitch perfect in each of the instrument that is required. I don't necessarily have to know how it's played.
Yeah.
I just know the sound I want to hear. And at the end of the day, I make fine music, excellent music.
Yes.
And I think that's what singing is about.
That's such a wonderful breakdown. And I have to say, I saw the cast, stellar lineup. Stellar lineup. People with a proven track record.
Absolutely.
Now I want to say, we are used to you playing quite intense characters, right? And from project to project, there are elements of the character there, but we also see some elements that are consistent and we can now say, oh, that's, Jim.
See the way it is, I was typecasted for a long time. That's normal when they don't come on, man. I'm not shy for long time.
The thing with even saying you were typecasted, as somebody who has
absolutely, it was diverse. Yes,
it was diverse. It was just that
for a few
yes, and there was a consistency.
I lead to your professional analysis.
So should we expect that same level of intensity in the character you play?
Anything that doesn't have my heart, soul, and body in it, and it doesn't deserve my attention. I've never been comfortable with virtual signaling. I don't do the group crowd attention. I don't grandstand. I don't do none of that stuff. I'm a soloist in everything I do. That's why people really know anything about my background. I just let the work speak for me.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm silent, well, competitors are free because I come out with things like this and they know why I've been silent. And also, that's, I think, being a man. That's when I don't understand being online every hour of the day and proclaiming every step you take and defining everything you do and warning people you're coming next. I don't get that. I think a man should borrow down, do what God has gifted him to do, which is great. You know, so if the essence of your being is in that creation, people will rally around you. I mean, the byproduct of the money, the accolades, and the long-term, advancement from that endeavor happens. And you can't put the cart before the horse and expect results. So I do it properly, and then I do what that is best for me as well. I do something which is I like to disrupt.
Yes.
I think the bane of my existence is if you fold clothes and keep it according to colors over there. My first order of business or instinct is to flip it. So I think that's what it is. My life is extremely ordered to a point I think I have subliminal OCD. So where I allow a complete disruption of every essence of my being is my creative process. I think the best person that put it was Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
He said a script is a living thing.
Yeah.
The day you treat it as a finished product, as a full-grown adult, it will give you a full-grown adult attitude. So for me, a script is a living thing. I keep breathing into it. I keep surmounting the odds. I keep adding more into it. You can't imagine we shot this script and I had to do 122 scenes of rewrites in the course of film.
Wow.
22 scenes. So I was getting as little as 2 hours sleep a day because we finish it about 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then my PA wake me up about 2. Somewhere here, there. That was their job. The simpler job was wake me up 2 because my alarm wasn't working anymore. Wow. It would go off, I'd still be sleeping. So wake me up about 3 a.m. I will write till 6. And then get ready in time for the 7:30, 8 a.m. call time and walk off through into that. And this persisted for 3 months. So it's not for the faint-hearted.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay. That level of dedication after such a long time in the space it explains why you are who you are. I just want to ask, which do you prefer doing? Where are you more comfortable, on screen or behind the camera today?
Behind the camera is the businessman. Analyze everything economically. Behind the scenes is all passion. It's all emotion. There's a space you go as an actor, and I've become masterful in that space. And I'm not saying this lightly. It's not for gainsay, but there's a space I go that few people can access. It's almost a spiritual place where I enter and I tell myself, no matter the character at the moment, I'm a master at this. I believe it. I sweat and tear it. My conviction is absolute, without any tilt of doubt when I come out of that space. And when I come out of that space, the entirety of what you see thereafter is the character. Okay, so I think that is what proves this again and again, that I can disappear as long as I want and still come back, and there's always a vacancy for me.
I love that. I want to talk about the movie just a little bit more before I ask you some of my other level questions. This specific character, was it one moment during filming where you felt like you were completely connected to this character, where Jim took a step back? I know you do that with all your movies, but where in this movie, so that we can find that one moment where you were absolutely the character in the movie?
I'm going to talk about the greats later, but now, direct answer to your question. The final scene of the fight sequences, mind you, I'm proficient in martial arts, but we had to bring in an expert that taught us Sabati, that's a form of French martial art, as well as Krav Maga, which is developed by Israeli military. And it's a damaging, extremely physical, extremely brutal art. We learned it, but I at a cost because it was a short-term training for an extremely proficient fight scene and choreography. And so mistakes were made. Few of the blows landed, the wrong way kicks were landed, the spring, the side punches. You take it and you don't stop, you keep going.
Yes.
So before then I was injured. My left ankle was broken from a fight scene. I did a flying kick on 4 or 5 and then I snapped that leg. We were to shoot the next day.
Yeah.
The director asked me, listen, I'm going to cancel this.
Yeah.
And let's wait for this leg to heal because it was so swollen I couldn't wear shoes anymore. No, we to shoot. So they would take medium shots because my left leg was so swollen.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people behind cameras that will tell you it was a very testing time. So I told my PA to bandage it down. He bandaged it down and I went to my director and told him the leg had healed. It didn't. You know why I did it? I really wanted to test to the limit my resolve. That can rise above pain, rise above self-injury, rise now getting to that space where nothing else existed. And so I'm going to challenge you to watch the final scene, the fight sequence from top to end. That was not choreography, that was us, 6 martial artists going at it. There were punches, we're hitting, we're kicking. And for that space, I'm telling you, I didn't know I had an injury. As soon as they said the final cut, my leg fell apart. I realized that I'd broken a finger and the leg had swollen to a point where we couldn't even shoot for 2 days. Was it 2 days or a week with Gabriel here? A week. We didn't shoot for a week because of the injury sustained and that they had to actually call in a doctor and all that. So I think this is the supreme performance of it, where you get into a space where nothing else exists that very few artists can access.
That is... I don't know what I expected when I was I don't know what I expected when I was I said Jim had a broken leg, the character's leg is fine.
I'm telling you, yes. I'm telling you, it's the power of the mind, like never. After that, my conviction of what the mind was capable of changed. I've preached it, I've practiced it in many endeavors, but I've never been to a point where there was serious physical injury and I surmounted it to perform an audience task and only remembered after it was done.
I
was literally carried out of that scene.
That sounds
it was. The pain that night, the throbbing that was coming from my leg was. But guess what? All through that pain, I had a smile on my face. Wow. And I was surprised, like, why are you smiling for Canada? Because the director was feeling so self-conscious. Like, why are you smiling all through this and that? Because the execution, the fact that I taxed myself to rise above that pain, to execute it to perfection, I'm telling you, there's nothing in the world, not $20 million will have given me that satisfaction.
If you're watching this, I'm going to beg you.
Don't fight now. Please, I'm not.
Let's not try this.
I beg you.
Let's go and see. You know, I'm going to be watching to see if he was wincing, to see if he because I'm not even look. I don't have a headache if I so I don't know.
Let me give you a small clue. The final walkout where there's a line I took where I said something like, do you think hell? What do you think is hell? What is hell? I said, what is hell without the devil? Then I told him, I'm home. And I snapped his leg. You see that line, you would have seen me limping again. Okay, that's my body falling apart. But it hasn't gone to my mind yet. But that's my body just leaning, because I naturally, instinctively leaned on my right leg to function. But that's just my body going through the survival mechanism. And so after that cut, boom.
I cannot wait. We are the premiere tomorrow. We're seeing this. I love it. Now they are turning their hand. And if you leave me here, I'll stand another hour. So let me just ask very quickly before we go. You've never spoken about this, so I'm sorry to put you on the spot. But I, as a fan, and I'm sure other fans watching would like to know, what was your stance on Gideon Okeke calling you out? What was your side of the story? Because you are one of those people who is so private and stays clear of controversy so much that when we see a story like this, our first thought is, I'd like to hear what
he had to say. So that was it here. We heard him and it was well and good, but we were waiting for you to tell us your side of the story, and we knew you would do it in your own time. I'm hoping that time is now. What was your stance on this issue?
Let me say this. 2,700 actors worked for me on that set, and if one person says I'm a bad producer or I didn't treat him fairly, I think I can live with that. Because truthfully, if 2,700 actors said I'm a good guy, then I think I'm in the wrong business. Leadership is not for the faint-hearted. Things will happen. I'm not saying that I'm the most compassionate person. I think where I miss it oftentimes is how to correlate my passion with compassion. Okay, sometimes I lack how to convey that, especially when an actor is going through something, because my thought is that I'm going through 10 times more. So you have no reason to cry, because this is what is called the breathing field of your work. This is what you call is poetic license. You have to come in there regardless of whatever happened. But I've always ensued for private conversation. I don't understand what it means to take cases to the court of public opinion and try and seek sympathy. I'm human, and I've erred many times here and there, but I would have expected that my colleague would call me privately. Of course, he made a case of saying that he tried to call us. I have 2 producers. In fact, I had 4 producers on that set. I'm in 2 producers. And I remember when we were trying to hire my first option, when I called out a certain name, I said, this is the person I want, but the person was Kunle was my first option. It was not available. Timmy again was not available at that point, because don't forget we were shooting for 3 months. And somebody suggested him, and the first thing I said to them was that, why was it banned for that long? Why was it after Tinsu? And they told me the reason. And I had a long conversation with him along that line to say, my brother, prove people wrong. I'm going to bring you on this project. I'm going to find the opportunity. But prove people wrong with another person. I mean, if I'm saying out of context, I put the life of my children. Like, we had a 13-minute conversation regarding the situation that happened. And so when it happened, I decided, wow. All I could say was, wow. There's so many approaches that could have come down. Trust me, on setting a amiable resolution to this, but how come everything that I sacrificed for to bring you on board and say, my brother, put people wrong, I turned out to be the one, and you got that hand done? That's just another lesson for life.
I totally understand, and I'm so glad that you graced us with your presence today and even just opening up about this. I mean, as you said, you are allowed to take your time off, but when you come back, it's always worth it, and I'm beyond excited to see you in this movie. Thank you very much for your time. On that note, I'm giving you guys the trailer to this movie that we've been talking about. See this legend in his element and prepare to go out and watch it so that we continue this Nollywood Nigeria to the world movement. This is not just a movie, it is a movement. Enjoy.
Absolutely.
It's not enough.
Today.